stay off your knees. I hear you spreading your lies like a verbal disease. You're always begging for more. I'm gonna give you everything that brings you pain. I'll tear you down to size and leave you ashamed. Can you feel it coming? I won't let you stand your ground. Go on and sing surrender. I love to hear the sound.
What's going on, everybody? I'm going to bring you to a new segment I'm going to try and do. This is episode 1. Not all the episodes will be the same as this one. I'm going to do a lot of walk-arounds of everybody else's cars and talk with everybody that owns them. But this is what I'm going to call Why I Lowride. And if you don't know me by now, my name is Cadillac Dan, and this is Why I Lowride. I love it. I've always been passionate about lowriding. Got into it a long time ago, probably around 14. Me and my brother were working. We had owned an animal control business. We were cruising the streets in our work truck, and we did a U-turn. And my brother said that car's got hydraulics on it, and it was a wagon, an Oldsmobile station wagon of all things. And I said, "How you know?" And he's like, "I can see the pumps in the back window." So we got behind him. My brother flashed the high beams of the truck, and the guy in the car obviously seen it. And so he had lifted the car up. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember the location and everything. We were in Panama City. We were turning right onto Cherry Street, right by Wendy's. And he lifted it up, jacked up the front, jacked up the rear, bent the corner, hit through wheel on the passenger side. And I was like, "That's the coolest thing ever right there." I said, "I've got to have one of those, you know." So ever since then, it kind of set me into wanting a lowrider. And going through high school, a buddy of mine named Michael, he had a little Zuzu pickup truck. He was really the first one that I had known hands-on. He got it. He was talking about building a lowrider, and I was like, "That'd be cool." I'd helped him build hot rods and stuff like that before. And so he had got the hydraulics from the guy we had come across. So we had kind of went and installed them, and another buddy of ours that we had met at the time, he had already known how to do hydraulics and pretty much did everybody else's cars. So he brought us in and helped us and showed us how to do it. And so we got his truck done, and we rode around. We thought we were the coolest thing on 4 wheels. He had it for a while, and then I crawled across my first vehicle. It was an Oldsmobile 98. Pretty much the same as a Cadillac. Most people don't know what it is. At the time, I didn't like Cadillacs, believe it or not. It sounds weird. So my brother bought me the car, and eventually worked it off and paid him back. And so got it going, got it driving, and we come across our buddy Ruffner again. That's the guy who helped us out, putting the hydraulics on Michael's truck. And he was like, "Hey, whenever you want to juice the car, bring it on over and we'll tackle it." So we all went over there one weekend and did the backyard boogie. Cut the holes in it, threw the rack in. It was a bolt-in rack at the time, which I didn't know any better. I was still 100% fresh to hydraulics. I didn't really know how anything worked. So that was a good learning course for me. But we bolted the rack in, come out of another car, got it all finished up, and we backed out of the backyard and got in the road, and everybody was piling in the car, going to ride. We were going to go hit 3-wheel for the first time. It still had the factory wheels and hubcaps and everything on it. So we're driving down the road, I jack it up. Next thing I hear, I think to myself, I broke it already. I haven't even made it, out of the subdivision and broke the thing. So we all hop out of the car, look at it, and found out the exhaust hanger broke, and the muffler is dragging the ground. So we were close enough, one of the guys ran back to his house, grabbed a coat hanger, we tied it up with a coat hanger, and cruised on with it. We went to a parking lot where we were going to go 3-wheeling, had a lot of open space. So all the guys hop out, they're going to check it out from the outside. So me and Ruffner are sitting in the car, and he's like, explaining to me how to do it. So we lift up the front end, lift up the back, I dump the back passenger corner, cut the wheel, start doing my circle, and it's not doing nothing. I cut the wheel as hard as I can, I'm gunning it, and that car, it had a 307 in it, so it had 0 horsepower whatsoever. We're riding and tires are squealing and nothing's happening. I'm like, man, this sucks. That was the whole reason I juiced the car. So we park and we get out. We're kind of talking to everybody. My buddy Farrat says, the batteries are on the driver's side. All your weight's on the driver's side. You know, you're trying to get the driver's side to come up in the air. You're fighting yourself. He's like, turn to the right and do a passenger side through wheel. Duh. Yeah. So we get back in the car. Everybody resets. Everybody's hyped up again. So put it in drive, dump the driver's side rear, cut it to the right. It just laid over. I had 16-inch cylinders, or no, I had 14-inch cylinders in that one. Man, it laid over. I lost all sight of the parking lot. I was like, man, that is what I'm talking about. You know, that is why I got into it. It was just the coolest feeling ever. So years later, you know, I've had the Oldsmobile. We finally got wire wheels and everything. You know, we take it out to the beach and cruise. It was the most dependable lowrider at the time in town. And I started getting into working on everybody's cars because Ruffner was he'd work on them when he wanted to, but he was kind of getting into his own stuff. He was working on an airbag truck that he was building. So I started tinkering mine, and any problems I found, I'd fix them. Also got on Lay It Low, which is kind of where I got a lot of my knowledge for lowriding. I spent many, many hours on that. You know, after school, I'd come home, sit on Lay It Low till I go to sleep pretty much. But I started learning a lot of the do's and the don'ts about building cars, and my car would never break down. You know, we'd all go out to the beach and cruise, and everybody else's cars, they'd burn up motors, burn pump heads, break ball joints, you know, worn out bushings, stuck solenoids, and my car would never break down. So a lot of people started bringing their stuff to me to kind of go through it and see what was done right and what was done wrong, or what I could do better. So then I got to the part where I wanted to make my car legit. You know, I wanted to build a hopper. So I took the Oldsmobile down, pulled it off the frame, started reinforcing the frame. At the time I had a shop, so I was working on everybody else's cars, and it ended up I was working on everybody else's cars, didn't really have time for mine, so mine really sat on the back burner for a long, long time. Wasn't really without a lowrider. You know, I got to drive a bunch of my friends' cars that I built. My buddy Farrat, mainly being one of them. I built a '63 Impala for him. He let me drive it a lot. He had a Beretta when I first met him, and he let me drive it whenever. It was pretty cool because it was like a legit lowrider. You know, had crushed velvet, deep dish wheels, painted wheels, patterns. Had the lowrider guy airbrushed on the hood. You know, they took a picture of it and had it in Lowrider magazine. So I mean, you can't get much more lowrider than that, really. And it was really cool. He let us cruise it because it was the most popular car in town for sure. You know, people still know that car. And then I'd also built a Fleetwood for him. Also, he had a black one. And when it come to me, it looked rough. Man, did it look rough. And we took it all apart, built a battery rack for 8 batteries, did 2 pumps in it, and I drove it a lot. You know, he left it at my house, and anytime he would drive it, it was kind of like a curse for him. Anytime he'd drive it, he'd have a problem with it, and he'd bring it to me, and I'd drive it for weeks, never had a problem out of it, and give it back to him, and something would act up, I'd get it back, and couldn't replicate the problem, but so yeah, he let me drive that for quite a while, and this time, you know, my Oldsmobile was still way on the back burner. It had probably been pushed even further back, but eventually I did get the frame done. I got it painted, got it set back down on the frame, and completely stopped working on it once again. Just different interests in life. I started playing in a band, was playing music, didn't really have time to work on the car. I had closed down my shop, stopped really working on cars. I was just getting burned down on it, had to take a break. And so the car sat in the back burner for a long time. And ever since then, it's pretty much sat in storage. By storage, I mean my in-laws' backyard. Made it through a hurricane. Luckily, none of the trees fell on it. I like to say I'm going to get back on it one day. Hopefully, if I get a house and get a shop, I can bring it up here and kind of start tinkering with it again. But that's when I got this car. I decided I'm not going to go as full force as what I wanted to on the Oldsmobile, just because it took so much time, so much money, and there was just so much involved in it. I wanted to get this in now. I wanted to drive it. So that's why I kind of went the route I did on this car. It does need paint still. That's going to be in the works here in a little bit. But I wasn't gonna pull it off the frame. I did partial wrap on it, did all the suspension on that, and I just wanted to drive it. I'd been a long, long time without my own lowrider. I guess I can say that. I do have my tan one, but I literally got them pretty much the same time. I think I got them like a couple of weeks of each other. But my tan one, that's a different story. I'll come back to that one in another video, hopefully. But yeah, lowriding, I mean, it's fun. I love it. Just the whole ingenuity of making it work. That's kind of what got me really into it. That's one of the things. I like building cars. I like different setups. That's my favorite part of a lowrider, is looking at the setup. When I go online, everybody's got pictures of their cars. Usually you don't see pictures of the setups. Usually they're not done very nicely. It's just what I call a cookie cutter setup. My car, it's not full blown show quality setup, but it's a lot better than most of the setups I see. I mean, I literally did it in a weekend. I was meeting up with my buddies in my car club. In case you didn't see it, Just Riding Car Club out of Mobile. I was meeting up with them for the first time, and I'd known one of the guys, Jason. I'd known him for quite a few years, and I wanted to make a good impression. Plus I needed to do the trunk in the car anyways, because it was the same as what it was when I got the car, which was just a disaster, and it needed to be done anyways. So I set a weekend aside, gutted the trunk, rebuilt the rack, did the beauty boards, made it nice and clean. Like I said, there's stuff out there that's way better. That's cool. Have I built trunks that are better? Yes, I have. But that was a weekend adventure. I wanted to in and out. I had a timeline. I was going to meet them that next week, so I definitely need to make sure it was done. So more or less threw it together. It looks good. It works good. I don't have any problems out of it. It's clean. I like it. And I do like going all out on building trunks. My buddy's car, Tony, went pretty far out on it. He kind of just left the car with me. It was originally supposed to be a cookie cutter setup. He had 6 batteries. We're going to do 6 batteries, 2 pumps. Just do 3 batteries with pumps in the middle. And we started building it, and I was like, I just started drawing on cardboard and doing some stuff. I had some cool ideas. And so I got up with him and I said, hey, this is what I want to do. And at the time, he had seen it, and he was kind of like, do what you want to do. I'm gonna leave full creativity to you. And it was just kind of literally inch by inch. We started. I wanted to paint the rack to match the car, which people didn't do that at the time. And so then I designed the tie down for the batteries, and we did a false wall and did stainless steel braided lines, and it kind of went from there. It turned out to be a really cool car. It's been a really good car. I built it a long time ago now. I think it's been almost 8 years, 10 years, somewhere around there. Still drives it. He drives it at least once a week. He was daily driving it there for a little while. It's got a street charger in it. It's never seen a battery charger in the entire time he's had it. I definitely recommend those. My tan Cadillac's got a street charger. I'm going to eventually buy one for this car. The black Cadillac I built for Farah, it had one. His Impala had one. I think we put one in the Beretta. I don't remember. That was a long, long time ago. But yeah, I'd highly recommend them. I see a lot of guys online ask about street chargers, and well worth the money. At the time, I don't know. I'm sure the same guy still owns it. His name is Bill. But man, if I had a problem, I'd call him. He was really cool, down-to-earth guy. He would talk with you, work you through any problems. That tan one, the tan Cadillac I built it for a buddy of mine. He is rough on cars. He managed to fry it. I guess it just popped some circuit inside and wasn't putting out a charge. So I took the car out of there. I called Bill, and I was talking to him. He was helping me troubleshoot it, and we come to a dead end. And he told me, he's like, pack it up, ship it to me. Let me take a look at it. So I shipped it to him. A couple days later, he's like, yeah, circuit board inside, fried. And he had asked me how I had it run. And I explained to him, I said, I jumped off the amp power that was in the trunk and I run it to it. He says, yeah, you need to run a dedicated line to it. I was like, oh man. I figured I could bridge off it and it'd be all right. And he said, nah, it needs its own line. So it was my fault. Dude fixed it for free. Put a brand new circuit board in there, shipped it back to me, not a single charge. Didn't cost me nothing. Put it back in the car, worked perfectly. to this day. And so it's getting a little off subject, but yeah, highly recommend street chargers. Anyways, getting back to lowriding. Another thing that gets me into lowriding and keeps me in lowriding, just all the cool people I've met. Everybody is a huge family. I've been around race cars and stuff like that. Everybody kind of hates on everybody else, which I'm not gonna say it doesn't happen in lowriding. It does happen once you get in like the bigger car clubs. I hear buddies of mine say, "Oh, so and so want to talk to such and such," and they argue and this and that. The majority of the clubs I've been in, everybody gets along really well. Everybody's good friends, and that's how it should be. When I first got into lowriding, when I built my Oldsmobile, actually before that, before Michael's truck, we started hanging out with guys, and they had cool cars. They had some of the coolest stuff I've seen, and they were really cool, down-to-earth people. They seemed like they'd be way cooler than what they should be hanging out with us. But they bring us into their little circle. We go up to their car club meetings. They'd show us the cars, hang out with us, talk with us. It's really cool. You really can't ask for any more than that. And usually you see somebody with a really nice car and they're kind of snobby and act like they don't have time for you. But 90% of the people I've seen with lowriders, they're more than happy to show it off and let you check the car out and talk to you about it. And I love talking about cars in general. That's what we're doing here. But one guy kind of stood out in particular. His name was Damon. He had a gold Cadillac, or a cream-colored Cadillac at the time. It was an 80 model. And as I said before in this video, I didn't really like Cadillacs at the time. I kind of thought they were overrated. Yeah. And had my Oldsmobile. I liked it, and I liked it because it was kind of an underdog. Nobody knew what it was. Everybody thought it was a Cadillac. That's what kind of cracked me up about it. But he went to go sell that car, and it had 14 or 16-inch cylinders in the back. But I remember seeing it was out in front of a buddy of our shop, and it was locked up in the back, had the front on the ground, and the bumper laid across the ground. And I was like, man, that's a good-looking car. I wanted to get it, and I knew there was no chance I could get it. And it eventually got sold. And after that, that's really what got me into Cadillacs. But back to where I was starting with this. I met Damon, and he had showed me the car. He let me ride in the car, and his buddy Elmer, he had a Cadillac also, had a blue one. And those guys were really cool. They kind of just took me in. We become really good friends, and helped him work on the cars. We juiced Elmer's Cadillac because when I had first met him, he didn't have nothing on it, and then we did the front end. He rode around a long time with it with just the front end juiced, and man, he would get down on it. You'd think the thing had hydraulics all the way around it. But we eventually did the rear end and got it fully functional. But we go out and ride all the time, and like I say, that's one thing about lowriders. They're not afraid to bring you in and make you feel like one. That's not something that happens in a lot of car cultures. And same thing with the car club I'm in now. I went down there and met everybody. Everybody welcomed me as it's like I've known them forever. We talk all the time. We talk on the phones all the time. Try and go to as many car shows as we can. I'm in Montgomery. They're in Mobile, so it's a little bit harder. Plus now with all the stuff that's going on now, it's really been hard. But hopefully here in a month or so, everything will be back to normal, and we can start getting back to some shows and building cars. But yeah, everywhere I've went, down to Orlando, we show up. Everybody greets us. They're happy to see us, just like family. Even though we just met people. I went to people's houses and spent the night at people's houses just meeting these people. They welcome me in. We go out to eat, have a good time, have fun. You can't ask for much more. Being around a lot of cool people that enjoy the same thing you do. Get feed off each other, get ideas, share ideas. It's pretty good stuff. So I'm kind of just rambling on now. So I'm gonna kind of wrap it up here. Yeah, this is gonna be the start of a new little series I'm gonna try and do. So hopefully once everything is all settled and done with what's going on in the world now, and get to do some more traveling. For the time being, I'm gonna see if I can get some guys to set up their car, or set up a camera, set up their car, kind of tell me why they lowride. Figured it'd be kind of a cool little thing, a little bit smaller, down to earth, episodes, just why the average guy lowrides. We don't all have show cars, and we don't all have perfect cars. This one, but I love low riding. You know, I'm gonna do what I can, and you ain't gotta hate on somebody for not having a perfect car. You know, everybody's at different levels in life, and you know, you shouldn't have to worry about, you know, somebody else isn't the same as you or you're better than anybody else. It shouldn't be about that. You know, you like low riding, I like low ride too. You know, just like Afro Man says. So appreciate you watching the videos and subscribing, liking, and can't wait to make some more. You know, hopefully some more lowrider videos is coming. Things are looking good, so appreciate it.
What seems to be the problem?
Good shot. Got away free. It lives to die another day.